torque reaction plate. I have an adjustable torque reaction plate, so I can adjust the ride height without without making an adjustment on the splines associated with the torsion bars. And I bought this a little while ago, and obviously now is the time to fit it. The reason I bought it earlier was because we needed to make sure that when we were doing the front bulkhead work and the floor work that we had the right gap and everything else. So I bought this particular device knowing that I wanted to use it later, but never actually figured out how to use it. I can tell you that fitting just the plate on its own requires some work. Don't expect it just to drop in. So I spent 2 or 3 hours actually getting it to fit. But going back to how to get the ride height adjustment, this is how it works. I believe it works. So this is the torque arm that's actually connected to the torsion bar. That is located normally through the spigot in the space frame, the hole in the space frame, and then this plate goes on the back surface of that and also wraps around this hole. Then normally the bolt holes that you have to maintain your spline position, they align with these 2 holes, and then you put you lock everything together. So you clamp this to this in this sort of position. On the adjustable method, you offset the torque arm, and you are using 2 bolts that fit in slots. So it's on the other side, it's these slots. So as I move up and down in these slots, I'm altering the torque level in the torsion bar, and therefore I'm altering the ride height. As I do that, I can get the adjustment to what I want if I do it that way. And then once it's set at the right position, then you clamp down on these 2 bolts and lock everything in place, and then obviously you lock up the adjustment. So by altering, using an Allen screw here and altering that thread length, I'm pulling this bolt up and down, and then as a result of that, I'm moving this torque arm. As a result of that, I'm altering the torsion that's actually in the torsion bar. Now, the problem is that on my car, when I went to fit this, this hole, this slot, is actually covered by quite a bit of the space frame. And when it's installed in the vehicle, I will show you that. And with everything in the car and, God knows what else, actually making clearance, plus I powder coated the space frame, and anyway, whatever. It was like an oh shit moment that the space frame actually interferes with that slot, so you can't get your bolt through there, and it certainly won't travel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the torque. I'm going to put this plate into the car. I'm going to set my torque reaction arm through in this position. Then I'm going to check the ride height on the car at the right time, and if I need to adjust it significantly, then I will modify the space frame to allow the clearance to occur in the slot, and then put all this adjustment mechanism back in place and make the adjustment that way. So a little disappointing. I should have caught it earlier. We've had this plate in and out of the car several times when the car was stripped, etc., and did not know that I don't have a clear slot for that bolt location to allow the bolt to travel in there. Little unfortunate because this is mightily expensive. Yeah, certainly not cheap. Anyway, that's where I am. I'm going to hopefully install it and then clamp everything up, and we'll go from there. Okay, torsion bar plate is in, fits underneath the engine, between the gearbox and the engine. Difficult to tighten up the bolts, but it's just a little bit of time it takes to get there. Okay, so what I was talking about was the reason I can't use the adjustment, which would be this basic mechanism here. You push up the clamp bolt for the actual torsion arm here. That would be pointing over at an angle, and then there are clamp bolts that have to go through, and I don't have the clearance because of this space frame attachment. So in order to make that work, I have to fettle this edge here, and I really don't want to do that. These things are like beautiful. I have a bit of touch-up paint to do with the torsion arm, given all of the in and out associated with that. But this bolt does not clear, and so I just would never be able to make it work without fettling that edge. So the big lesson learned there is that if you're going to use this adjustable ride height method, then make sure that you have the clearance between this slot and this space frame. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. And I just didn't even think about looking at that when we've had this plate in and out several times. The good news is that it's in. Now I can actually get on to putting on the front stub axles and setting the damper and putting the dampers on, and then putting the front wheel assembly together. Interesting lesson learned though.